afternoon. This being the day designated in the Constitution and the laws of the state of Minnesota for the assembling of the legislature, I hereby call the Senate to order. Prayer will be offered by the chaplain, Reverend Dr. Dwayne Davis from the Plymouth Congregational Church in Minneapolis. After the prayer, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Holy One, the giver and presence of light that binds us together as one people, your good creation to whom and through whom justice and righteousness are made known to the world. Thank you for this day and this hour. Thank you for the gift of this new year and the blessings that will unfold within it as we embrace its opportunity for new beginnings. We are grateful today for this demonstration of civic and democratic participation in which these leaders gather to embody and practice public service for the common good. Inspire them, Great One, to bear true faith and allegiance to God or the ultimate presence of their understandings. Strengthen them to bear true faith and allegiance to the people of the great state of Minnesota, who have entrusted them with this privilege and responsibility for public service. Let these servants be guided by moral imagination, a drive to bring to bear in their work enduring wisdom to pursue justice, peace, and well-being for every person. Let no idols, purpose of evasion, or pursuit of personal gain divert them from the pursuit of justice. We pray that what they do here and their decisions during this session will bear fruit that will heal the land. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, hello, everyone. It is an honor to be with all of you here today. Congratulations to each and every one of you on your election and your re-election for many of you. And welcome back to the People's House. What a privilege it is to be here with all of you in person, to start this session in a good way. As public servants and as elected officials representing our fellow Minnesotans, we have an incredible opportunity and an obligation. We must work together in the interest of Minnesotans across the state, and as my mom always said, it's good work if you can get it. So on behalf of Governor Walz and our agency commissioners and our entire administration, thank you so much for stepping up to lead, to serve your community. And we look forward to working with each and every one of you to advance our shared priorities to create a better Minnesota for all of us and to do good work together. It's an honor to also be here on such a historic day as this body takes another step towards looking more and more like Minnesota. So here we go. I hereby appoint Sandra L. Pappas as Clerk Pro Tem, who will call the roll by legislative district in numerical order. When your district is called, please come forward and present your election certificate to Justice Hudson at the front desk.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the U.S. Capitol on the first day of session. First District, Mark Johnson. 2nd District, Steve Green. 3rd District, Grant Hochschild. 4th District, Robert Kupek. 5th District, Paul Utke. 6th District, Justice Eichhorn. 7th District, Robert Farnsworth. 8th District, Jennifer McEwen. 9th District, Jordan Rasmussen. 10th District, Nathan Wiesenberg. 11th District, Jason Rarick. 12th District, Tori Westrom. 13th District, Jeff Howe. 14th District, Eric Putman. 15th District, Gary Dames. 16th District, Andrew Lang. 17th District, Glenn Grunhagen. 18th District, Nick Friends. 19th District, John Jasinski. 20th District, Steve Dreskowski. 21st District, Bill Weber. 22nd District, Rich Draheim. 23rd District, Jean Dornick. 24th District, Carla Nelson. 25th District, Liz Bolden. 26th District, Jeremy Miller. 27th District, Andrew Matthews. 28th District, Mark Coran. 29th District, Bruce Anderson. 30th District, Eric Lucero. 31st District, Calvin K. Barr. 32nd District, Michael Kroon. 33rd District, Karen Housley. 34th District, John A. Hoffman. 35th District, Jim Abler. 36th District, Heather Gustafson. 37th District, Warren Limmer. 38th District, Susan Pa. 39th District, Mary Kay Kunish. 40th District, John Marty. 41st District, Judy Seeberger. 42nd District, Bonnie S. Westland. 43rd District, Ann H. Rest. 44th District, Tu Zhang. 45th District, Kelly L. Morrison. 46th District, Ron Latz. 47th District, Nicole L. Mitchell. 48th District, Julia E. Coleman. 49th District, Steve A. Zwazinski. 50th District, Elise Mann. 51st District, Melissa H. Wicklin. 52nd District, Jim Carlson. 53rd District, Matt D. Klein. 54th District, Eric R. Pratt. 55th District, Lindsay Port. 56th District, Aaron K. McQuaid. 57th District, Zach Duckworth. 58th District, Bill Liskey. 59th District, Bobby Joe Champion. 60th District, Carrie Dietzick. 61st District, D. Scott Dibble. 62nd District, Omar Fateh. 63rd District, Zanab Mohammed. 64th District, Aaron P. Murphy. 65th District, Sandra L. Pappas. 66th District, Claire Umu Verbaten. 67th District, Fong He.
A quorum is present. I will now ask the Honorable Natalie E. Hudson, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, to administer the oath of office. Please rise.
Good afternoon. First, let me just say it's really a pleasure to be here with all of you on this very special and momentous day. And on behalf of Chief Justice Lori Gilday and the entire Minnesota Supreme Court, I bring you greetings and congratulations to all of you. And now I'm going to read the oath. I'd ask you all to raise your right hand. Do each of you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and to discharge faithfully your duties as a senator to the best of your judgment and ability, so help you God? I do. Congratulations.
The next order of business is the election of the President of the Senate. Are there any nominations? Senator Latz.
Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, I nominate Senator Bobby Joe Champion for President of the Senate.
Senator Champion has been nominated. Are there any other nominations?
Madam Lieutenant Governor, I nominate Senator Justin Eichhorn.
Senator Justice Eichhorn has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. The clerk pro tem will call the roll in alphabetical order. Members, please vote by saying the last name of the candidate.
Madam Lieutenant Governor,
Senator Latz.
may I have a moment to make a few remarks regarding Senator Champion?
Yes, Senator, go right ahead.
Thank you. Senator Champion has the skills, temperament, and principles to be an outstanding president. As an attorney in both public service, a former Minnesota Assistant Attorney General, and in private practice, he fights for procedural fairness grounded in constitutional principles. He understands rules and their essential role in a well-functioning institution. He is an accomplished musician, which, especially in his role as a former director of a critically acclaimed and award-winning gospel ensemble, requires coordinating, listening to, and interacting with others to create a complete and effective outcome. As such, he is committed to fairness and the importance of creating spaces for all voices to be heard and respected. A deliberative Senate body is the place to hear the voices of Minnesotans through their elected senators. The presidency is a tool or conduit to make certain that important public policy is moved after hearing robust and respectful discussions for the benefit of all Minnesotans. And I must reflect on the historic nature of Senator Champion becoming Senate President, the first African American, indeed the first person of color, to reach this position in Minnesota. Groundbreakers become icons, inspiring others in their community to seek similar success. So too will Senator Champion. I am personally and particularly pleased to make this nomination as a successor in this Senate seat that was first held by the first African American to serve in the Minnesota Senate, Senator Dr. Robert Bob Lewis from St. Louis Park. It is thus my great honor to place the name of Senator Bobby Joe Champion in nomination for President of the Senate. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Senator Latz. The clerk pro tem will call the roll.
Abler. Abler votes Icorn. Champion, sorry. Abler votes Champion. Anderson. Anderson votes Icorn. Barr. Barr votes Icorn. Bolden. Bolden votes Champion. Carlson. Champion. Carlson votes Champion. Champion. Champion votes Champion. Coleman. Coleman votes Icorn. Swazinski. Swazinski votes Champion. Dames. Dames votes Icorn. Dibble. Dibble votes Champion. Dornick. Dornick votes Icorn. Draheim. Draheim votes Icorn. Druskowski. Druskowski votes Icorn. Duckworth. Duckworth votes Icorn. Dietzick. Dietzick votes Champion. Icorn. Icorn votes Icorn. Farnsworth. Farnsworth votes Icorn. Fateh. Fateh votes Champion. Friends. Friends votes Champion. Green. Green votes Icorn. Grunhagen. Grunhagen votes Icorn. Gustafson. Guston votes Champion. Hochschild. Hochschild votes Champion. Herr. Herr votes Champion. Hoffman. Hoffman votes Champion. Housley. Housley votes Icorn. Howe. Howe votes Icorn. Jasinski. Jasinski votes Icorn. Johnson. Johnson votes Icorn. Klein. Klein votes Champion. Coran. Coran votes Icorn. Kroon. Kroon votes Icorn. Kunish. Kunish votes Champion. Kupek. Kupek votes Champion. Lang. Lang votes Icorn. Latz. Latz votes Champion. Liskey. Liskey votes Icorn. Limmer. Limmer? Icorn. Limmer votes Icorn. Lucero. Lucero votes Icorn. Mann. Mann votes Champion. Marty. Marty votes Champion. Matthews. Matthews votes Icorn. McQuaid. McQuaid votes Champion. McEwen. McEwen votes Champion. Miller. Miller votes Champion. Mitchell. Mitchell votes Champion. Mohammed. Mohammed votes Champion. Morrison. Morrison votes Champion. Murphy. Murphy votes Champion. Nelson. Nelson votes Icorn. Umuverbaten. Umuverbaten votes Champion. Pappas votes Champion. Pa. Pa votes Champion. Port. Port votes Champion. Pratt. Pratt votes Icorn. Putnam. Putnam votes Champion. Rarick. Rarick votes Icorn. Rasmussen. Rasmussen votes Icorn. Rest. Rest votes Champion. Seeberger. Seeberger votes Champion. Utke. Utke votes Icorn. Weber. Weber votes Icorn. Wessenberg. Wiesenberg votes Icorn. Westland. Westland votes Champion. Westrom. Westrom votes Icorn. Wicklund. Wicklund votes Champion. Shong. Shong votes Champion.
By a vote of 36 to 31, Senator Bobby Joe Champion has been elected president. Justice Hudson, please administer the oath of office. Congratulations, President Champion. Have an awesome session, everybody.
First of all, let me start by saying thank you to every person that's in this chamber. Thank you to those who are also here visiting this chamber. And I want you to know that I'm humbled by the support, humbled by those who voted for me and those who didn't. From my vantage point, the role of this office is to make sure that the will and the thoughts of the people of this great state that we think about and we engage in robust discussion in order to make sure their voices are here at this place and space. A well-known writer says that before anyone had an opinion of me, God had a plan for me. And I think that every one of us are called for this moment because this moment is very important. For when we think in terms of the children that I see and the young people that's around here, for me, to be a conduit for us to have that robust discussion and make decisions that benefit all Minnesotans is an honor. And I thank all those folks who served as president before me, from Senator Miller to Senator Pappas, and all the others that I will not name because I will forget some names. But what is not forgotten is that we stand on the shoulders of those who have gone before us in order to make sure that we stand on their shoulders, but also do our part as we are entrusted with this office. So I thank my family, my friends, and I thank all those who motivated me in one way or another. And I do not take this lightly. And Senator Latz, thank you so much for that warm introduction. I almost said yes myself back there. But thank you so very much, and I appreciate each and every person. And I look forward to serving you as president of the Senate. So thank you so very much. Thank you again. All right. So the next order of business is election of officers. Senator Rest.
Thank you, Mr. President. I nominate Thomas S. Bodern for Secretary of the Senate.
Thomas S. Bodern has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. The clerk pro tem will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Yes.
May I make a few comments about Mr. Bodern?
You may. Senator Rest.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tom Bodern has been the director of the Minnesota Senate Office of Senate Council Research and Fiscal Analysis since the beginning of January in 2012. He's been employed with the office since 1997, serving as the Senate counsel assigned to a variety of Senate committees, including the Environment Committee and the State Government Committee. He currently serves as counsel to the Senate Committee on Rules and Administration and the Finance Committee. Tom graduated from high school in Shorewood, Wisconsin. He holds a law degree from the University of Wisconsin and a bachelor's degree from Williams College. When Tom and I were exchanging emails about his request that I be the one to nominate him, he said this to me. As I reflect on this, that is his nomination for this office, I want to say that my experience staffing the State Government Committee when you were chair was an important time for my professional development in the course of working for the Senate. I learned a lot watching you chair that committee and appreciated the chance to help you develop protocols for advisory groups, among many other helpful experiences. It was also a lot of fun. That's the way Tom and I approached that committee, and I would say the same things back to him. Mr. President, I'm proud, and it's a pleasure to place the name of Thomas S. Bodern as Secretary of the Senate. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Rest. As I mentioned earlier, the nominations are closed. The clerk pro tem will call the roll in alphabetical order.
Abler. Anderson. Barr. Bolden. Carlson. Champion.
Bodern.
Coleman. Swazinski. Dames. Dibble. Dornick. Draheim. Dreskowski. Duckworth. Dietzig. Eichhorn. Farnsworth. Fateh. Friends. Green. Grunhagen. Gustafson. Hochschild. Herr. Hoffman. Housley. Howe. Jasinski. Johnson. Klein. Koran. Kroon. Kunish. Kupek. Lang. Latz. Liskey. Limmer. Lucero. Mann. Marty. Matthews. McQuaid. McEwen. Miller. Mitchell. Mohammed. Morrison. Murphy. Nelson. Umuverbaten. Pappas votes Bodern. Pa. Port. Pratt. Putnam. Rarick. Rasmussen. Rest. Seeberger. Utke. Weber. Wiesenberg. Westland. Westrom. Wicklin. Chow.
Receiving 67 votes of the Senate, Thomas S. Bodern has been elected Secretary of the Senate. Mr. Bodern, please come forward and subscribe to the oath as administered by the Honorable Natalie E. Hudson. To continue the order of business election of officers, Senator Disick.
Hello, there we go. Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the election of the other elective offices be made on one roll call unless there should be more than one nominee in any office.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The motion prevails. Senator Kunish.
Thank you, Mr. President. I nominate Michael R. Lynn for First Assistant Secretary.
Senator Friends.
Thank you, Mr. President. I proudly nominate Jessica Tupper for Second Assistant Secretary.
Senator Marty.
Mr. President, I proudly nominate Melissa G. Mapes as engrossing secretary.
Senator Herr.
Mr. President, in short, the role of Sergeant of Arms is to make sure that we have efficiency and are safe in this monumental chamber, the Senate. So, Mr. President, I nominate Sven K. Lindquist for Sergeant of Arms.
Senator Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I nominate Brian Pierrick for Assistant Sergeant at Arms.
And Senator Disick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I nominate the Reverend Dr. Dwayne Davis for chaplain.
Are there any other nominations? Nominations are closed. The Secretary will call the roll in alphabetical order. Members may vote for all the officers by saying nominees.
Abler. Anderson. Barr. Bolden. Carlson. Champion. Coleman.
Swedzinski. Dames. Dibble. Dorning. Draheim. Drazkowski. Duckworth. Diedzik. Eichhorn. Farnsworth. Fateh. Frentz. Green. Grunhagen. Gustafson. Hauschild. Herr. Hoffman.
Nominees.
Housley. Howe. Jasinski. Johnson. Klein. Karan. Kroon. Kunesh. Kupek. Lang. Latz. Liskey. Limmer. Lucero. Mann. Marty. Matthews. Make Wade. McEwen. Miller. Mitchell. Muhammad. Morrison. Murphy. Nelson. Umu Verbatim. Pappas. Pa. Port. Pratt. Putnam. Rarick. Rasmussen. Rest. Seeberger. Utke. Weber. Wiesenberg. Westland. Westrom. Wickland. Zhang.
Receiving 67 votes of the Senate, the nominees are elected to their respective offices. Please come forward and subscribe to the oath as administered by the Honorable Natalie E. Hudson.
Please raise your right hands. Do each of you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and to discharge faithfully your duties as officers of the Minnesota Senate to the best of your judgment and ability, so help you God? Congratulations.
The next order of business is motions and resolutions. The Secretary will report Senate Resolution Number 1.
Senators Diedzik and Johnson introduced Senate Resolution Number 1, a Senate resolution naming a majority leader and a minority leader.
Senator Diedzik.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Resolution Number 1 be adopted. This resolution designates the majority and minority leader, and I move that move it be adopted. Thank you.
Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion prevails and the resolution is adopted. The Secretary will report Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1.
Senators Diedzik and Johnson introduced Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1, a Senate Concurrent Resolution relating to the adoption of temporary joint rules.
Senator Diedzik.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1 be adopted.
To the resolution, Senator Diedzik.
Thank you, Mr. President. This resolution adopts the temporary joint rules from last session as the temporary joint rules for this biennium. Members, this is just it's just the book, so it has all the rules. Thank you.
And I believe that Senator Abler.
Thank you, Mr. President, and that the Majority Leader would yield for a question.
The Senator will yield for a question.
I can't look at her. I forgot that part, Mr. President. Anyway, so just understand, this is just this green book of rules that were in our desk, and there's no changes in the other other Senate rules. Is that right?
Senator Disick.
Mr. President, that is correct.
Okay, well, thank you. And I just wanted to offer...
Senator Abler.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think used to that, too. But congratulations, by the way. The reason I ask is I'm just concerned about the forthcoming rules for maybe tomorrow that I think are not respectful of a minority, and if they're adopted the way they've been proposed, will cause great challenges to operating the Senate in the way it's become accustomed. And it's one of the hallmarks, Mr. President, you have often remarked about is respect and working together, and I'm afraid that what's there is not. And so I'm just going to urge the Majority Leader and the Minority Leader and others to sit down today and see if they can't come up with something that's a little more like it's been recently, and that would be very helpful. So thank you, Mr. President.
Is there any additional discussion on the resolution? Seeing no further discussion, the Secretary will take the roll. Well, I had to be reminded to vote. So the Secretary will close the roll. There being 67 ayes and 0 nays, the resolution is adopted. The Secretary will report Senate Resolution number 2.
Senators Disick and Johnson introduced Senate Resolution number 2, a Senate resolution relating to the attendance of members of standing committees at meetings and seminars held within this state, providing for the payment of expenses.
Senator Disick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Resolution number 3 be adopted. This resolution authorizes, as Mr. Bodden said, attendance at different meetings. So this is attendance at NCSL and CSG meetings. Thank you.
And just for clarity, Senator Disick, this is Senate Resolution number 2. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing no further discussion, the Secretary will take the roll. The Secretary will close the roll. There being 61 ayes and 6 nays, the resolution is adopted. The Secretary will report Senate Resolution number 3.
Senators Disick and Johnson introduced Senate Resolution number 3, a Senate resolution naming a President pro tem.
Senator Disick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Resolution number 3 be adopted. This resolution names Senator Rest as the President pro tem of the Senate.
Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion prevails and the resolution is adopted. The Secretary will report Senate Resolution number 4.
Senators Dietzick and Johnson introduce Senate Resolution Number 4, a Senate resolution relating to the appointment of a committee to notify the governor the Senate is organized.
Senator Dietzick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Resolution Number 4 be adopted. As Secretary Bodden said, this requires the Senate President to appoint a committee of 8 members to notify the governor that the Senate is organized.
Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion prevails and the resolution is adopted. Pursuant to the foregoing resolution, I will make the following appointments. Senators Hochschild, Limmer, Lucero, Morrison, Nelson, Umu Verbaden, Rasmussen, and Zung. The Secretary will report Senate Resolution Number 5.
Senators Dietzick and Johnson introduce Senate Resolution Number 5, a Senate resolution to notify the House of Representatives that the Senate is organized.
Senator Dietzick.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that Senate Resolution Number 5 be adopted. And this resolution requires the Secretary of the Senate to notify the House that the Senate is organized.
Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion prevails and the resolution is adopted. Announcements of Senate interest. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I'd like to start off with welcoming the new members here today. What an exciting day to be here and enjoying the opportunity to build these relationships. Today is the first day of building relationships with your colleagues, to work across the aisle, to work with each other, building Minnesota up into a greater state. And we just appreciate your efforts here, being here today. I'd also like to welcome the guests that we have up in the galleries and around us today. These are our friends, family, those who have helped us in our life and getting us to these places, and really a special moment to spend with you as well. I'd also like to congratulate those at the front desk. Congratulations on the new positions up there. Big task, big changes, but glad to see your faces up there as well. I'd like to just briefly touch on a couple things. I remember this day back in 2016. I remember the new class that we had. And I look around and many of those faces are still here. You know, many of them have become subject matter experts in the areas that they work and their committees. Many of them have become procedural pros here on the floor. A lot of them have built up close relationships that makes this building go. But no matter what, each and every one of us has gained at least 15 pounds since that time earlier on. Over the last 164 years that this institution has been around, there's been some real characters that have come through here, people that have shaped the state. You know, think of Joe Rolette, who stole the bill that moved the Capitol down to St. Peter, and he hid out until the bill was vetoed, pocket veto, and the Capitol's still here today. Well, that guy actually came up from near my district in Pembina. There's also Knute Nelson. If you guys will look over, everybody will look over here. That's the ghostly figure over here that looks over our shoulders as we work each and every day, and the contributions that he made as an immigrant coming to this country and this state. Also, Wendell Anderson, who is more recent. Maybe some of you even remember his work here and the Minnesota Miracle when he was governor, but he came from the Senate as well. This institution is made up of members, and those members change. The institution changes those members, and the members change the institution. Today we're turning over a new leaf, a new opportunity to come here and help Minnesotans, to be the representative of Minnesotans, and to be Minnesota. So I'm excited to be here. And folks, our forefathers wrote a constitution. In that constitution, they laid down the gauntlet in the preamble, and they said, "We, the people of the state of Minnesota, are grateful to God for our civil and religious liberties and desiring to perpetuate the blessings and secure the same to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution. We have sworn an oath to that Constitution today, folks, and I am so excited to work together with you, over the next few years in helping the people of Minnesota and being the voice of Minnesota to work together. So enjoy today, enjoy the symbolism, enjoy the ceremony, because tomorrow we get to work. Thank you.
Senator Dziek.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm still not used to this mic. Thank you, Mr. President and members. Welcome, everybody. All of us are here today, including our family members, because we worked hard to get here. And I want to congratulate each and every one of you. Today is a day to celebrate. We celebrate the new year, we celebrate a new session, and we celebrate our families and our staff and our communities. Let's put the campaign behind us. We're now here to govern. We were elected to serve our constituents. We are their voices. Let's use our voices to share their hopes and dreams. We might not always agree, but I believe that we are all passionate about helping our constituents achieve their hopes and dreams and helping the state. We all want to make Minnesota a better place to live. You know, we're going to have some good, lively debates. I have no doubt about that. But I hope we can do it in a way that is civil and shows genuine respect. Respect for each other, respect for the institution, and respect for our constituents. When we walk into this chamber, let's remember what a privilege it is to serve our constituents, our communities, and our state. So many of you in the past that are current senators have received pins, and I know new members receive pins. That represents 1,404 people in this history in our Minnesota statehood have been senators. So we are all a small group. It's quite an honor, and it's a responsibility. As Minority Leader Johnson said, much of Minnesota's history has passed through this chamber. Many of our state's values have been forged here by the people sitting at these very same desks. I want you all to read the words up here. So read the words up here above the main door. The noblest motive is the public good. Minnesotans have trusted us to pursue that public good. Let's honor those words, and let's honor our constituents. As we move from the campaign trail to our job of governing, I want to thank all of you for your hard work. I also want to thank you in advance for the months of hard work that we have before us. None of us got here alone. We all had help. And I truly want to thank the families that are here with us today. They shared and sacrificed alongside each of you. They dealt with the long hours and the unpredictable schedules that it took to get us here. Our families and our staff, our DFL staff, our Republican staff, our front desk staff, our nonpartisan staff, they are all part of our journey. They are our unsung heroes. Our families tolerate our long hours, and our staff works those long hours with us. We all want to help improve Minnesota. I know every member here joins me in saying a heartfelt thank you to our families and our staff. I also want to congratulate Minority Leader Johnson. We've had several good conversations the last few days. I hope they continue. I want to work with you and every member here to improve this state. Many of you know that one of the first jobs I had was with U.S. Senator Paul Wellstone. I know you've all heard me talk about him. He had strong views, but he also worked across the aisle on issues to help Minnesotans and our state. He was famous for saying, "We all do better when we all do better." And he was right. When this Senate does better, Minnesotans will do better. Our constituents will have an opportunity to achieve their hopes and dreams. And that should be our goal every day, to make our state and the lives of Minnesotans better. Thank you, and I look forward to working with you all session to help Minnesotans. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Now for adjournment. I'm going to turn back to Senator Disick.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 11 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, January 4th.
Senator Disick moves that the Senate do now adjourn until 11 a.m. Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion prevails. The Senate is now adjourned.